How's everybody doing tonight? It's Saturday night, the night before Easter Sunday, one of the favorite holidays in all the English-speaking North American countries. And what I'd kind of like to do, just take a couple minutes and talk about the Easter Bunny. He's a very important religious figure in our lives. And I often think about him. He's a cute little guy there. But not a lot is known about him because he's been around a long time, and his story goes way back. He's very, very old. From what I've heard, he is possibly 100. What I'm about to tell you took place maybe 120 years ago. So a lot of it's myth and it's foggy legend. I've read some very old books and learned a little bit about him, and I'm going to do my best to tell you the Easter Bunny story. Basically, the Easter Bunny showed up in town one day, and he was new in town and didn't know anybody, but he was a very charismatic gentleman and got to know people very quickly, and people really liked the Easter Bunny. He was very good at telling jokes. He would loan people money for cigarettes if they didn't have money for cigarettes, and he could fix anything. If, let's say, your car broke and the tire was flat, he could fix it, and it was almost like by magic. He could just look at the tire, full of air. It's incredible. He could also do some other cool stuff. He could talk to the dead, and people really that got their attention. When you've got a rabbit that can talk to the dead, people are going to listen to that rabbit. Also, he was known for making bread last forever. I mean, you know, I've got bread back here that's 4 days old, and it's already moldy. This guy here can make it last forever, and he can feed like a lot of people on one loaf of bread. I got enough for a sandwich, maybe two. Well, one. I only have one sandwich left. Also water into wine, and we do like our wine around here, and that would have been very useful. But anyway, to make a long story short, the Easter Bunny was getting very popular in town. He had a lot of friends, and he did a lot of favors for people, you know, so people kind of like you when you do that kind of stuff. But what was wrong with that was it really upset the local government. Really upset them. And they were, frankly, a little bit afraid of the Easter Bunny because they didn't have anybody that could fix a car tire just by looking at it or turn water into wine, and certainly didn't have anybody that could talk to the dead, but the Easter Bunny could do all these things, and it kind of pissed them off a bit. And they had several meetings, town councils, you know, Thursday night down at the library. What are we going to do about the Easter Bunny? He's like talking to dead people all the time. It's very upsetting to them. So, of course, they took the only logical course, and that was to panic. And they sent their little policemen to go round up the Easter Bunny one day. And they rounded him up. They got him. Easter Bunny didn't even resist. He was like, hey, you know, you guys are cops. I'm just a bunny. So the Easter Bunny got taken away by the policemen, and once they had him, they didn't know what to do with him. So, again, the police and the townspeople did the only logical thing. They took the Easter Bunny and they tied him to a stick, and they put him up in the middle of town for everybody to see, and let him hang there for a while, and very intimidating to his friends. You know, it's like, hey, maybe this Easter Bunny guy is not the greatest thing in the world. He's tied to a stick right now. And still, the Easter Bunny was still up there talking to dead people and doing things and his magic and whatnot, and having visions and everything, and you know, he seemed like he was doing pretty good. He was the stick life didn't seem to bother him too much. So the townspeople and the police hired a guy, a real badass. I believe his name was Pancho Pilates, and Pancho Pilates had a big spear. And one night he walked up to the Easter Bunny and said, "Hey, Easter Bunny, take this!" Ugh! Gets him right in the rib. Hits him right in the ribs. Maybe hits him, twists it a little bit, whips it out, looks back and laughs. He was not a nice man. Anyway, that's the end of the story for Pontius Pilate. I think he was promoted to chief of police or something like that, but he went away, and the Easter Bunny's still hanging on this stick. And, well, now he's got a spear stuck in him. People were throwing rocks at him, calling him names like Sissy Man and, you know, ne'er-do-well, all those things that just kind of hurt people's feelings. Well, a few days went by, and finally the Easter Bunny, he actually died on the stick. And he was dead, and all his friends were very sad, and actually all his friends were very scared as well, because nobody wants to be tied to a stick and stabbed by Pontius Pilate. So what happened next is people still talked about the Easter Bunny, and they talked about all the cool stuff he could do, and the favors, and the magic, and the water, and the wine, and all this stuff. So the town's people, the police and the government, they took the Easter Bunny, and they decided that they were going to just quiet this shit down once and for all, and they took him and they put him in a cave. And not only that, they took a bunch of rocks. I have socks instead of rocks, and they covered up the cave. And they figured, well, that's the end of the Easter Bunny. And all Easter Bunny's old friends, and boy, they're upset. But they're thinking, you know, maybe the Easter Bunny wasn't all he said he was, and dude's in a cave covered up with rocks with a stick thing in his ribs. Well, a few days went by, and all of a sudden, the rocks started to move. Ooh, ooh. The rocks started to move, and the Easter Bunny woke up. He was just sleeping, apparently, and got out of the cave. And for some reason, the Easter Bunny was happier than ever. Even though everybody kind of turned against him and forgot about him, and they put him on a stick and stabbed him and put him in a cave and buried him with rocks, that didn't stop the Easter Bunny for 1 minute. And still today, he walks around giving out eggs. These eggs are very good, by the way. These are the Cadbury eggs. He gives those out. They're actually filled with cream. And anyway, so the Easter Bunny, basically, he's still around. He's like 120 years old or something, and he's still hopping down the bunny trail, and that's the magical story of the Easter Bunny. And I hope I cleared things up for you guys. We'll see. Have a good night.